Hello and welcome to On My Radar. I'm your host, Roshan Isaac. Muhammed Bukhary, assalamu alaikum and welcome to On My Radar. So we met, I met you at least, when you were the project director of Lifestyle Turkey. And there you brought together varying number of people from different backgrounds around the globe. And you're also multilingual, and you've always had a love for languages, which leads us to our discussion of language can break barriers of culture, which we are better able to understand, interact with, and benefit from each other. So first off, how many languages can you speak?
First of all, it's like, yeah, we have met in Lifestyle Turkey, the modest fashion exhibition. And I want to share something with your audience. It's like back in Lifestyle Turkey in January 2019, it was like my first experience as a moderator in a talk show, in a live event. And you were part of it. So I'm really happy. It can't be more deserving or more fitting to have my first experience in digital media with you as well. So yeah, back to your my pleasure as well. So back to your question, I actually speak right now. I speak 3 languages fluently. It's Arabic, Turkish, and definitely English. And you know, with I'm from like Uzbek and Uyghur. I'm of Turkic ancestor. And because of that, I can pretty much speak Uzbek, and I understand some other languages, but the languages I'm prominently fluent in are English, Arabic, and Turkish.
And Turkish. And would you agree that language is the roadmap of culture?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. I believe so. It's like language.
That roadmap with you?
The roadmap, actually, yes, it's it's a great question, and it's the answer to it is like, we know it's a road, it's a journey, so we have a lengthy answer to it. It's like I want to break it to some like 3 or 4 parts, like how this roadmap began with me. You know, I was like my father, my family immigrated to Saudi Arabia, and I was born there in Saudi Arabia. In Mecca, Saudi Arabia. So the my first language actually is Arabic. I started speaking Arabic. Our household was like some sort of a bilingual family. We were in a bilingual environment, not family environment. So I started speaking Arabic, and my first interest, I wasn't aware because I was a little kid back in the day. I wasn't aware of like the gifts, as how would like to put it, the gift endowed. You know, every person is endowed with a gift from Allah. So I was like, I wasn't aware of like I had a gift in languages back in the day. I started picking up, like I started reading comic books back in the day because it's more appealing to children. Started reading comic books and graphic novels, and from the graphic novels I started picking up. I was like picking up more and more language exposure. You know, language exposure is the first gateway to language competence. So getting more exposure to more expressions and terms of my first language, which is Arabic, helped me in going a level higher. So I went to read a text-only novels. Text-only novels. Wow. Text-only novels. Yeah, it's like it further developed my language, and I was like, I become interested in other languages as well, because back in the day I was also playing computer games, video games. And video games, you know, it's like it's a thing that developed with a brain of people of other cultures, of people of other language. So we are actually experiencing the invention, the perspective of people of other cultures. So I was like, wow, it's something beyond my my circle of people the circle of my knowledge and stuff like that. So I started investing in English. I was like maybe 10 or maybe 9 years away back in the day. So I started investing in English, and I started getting more and more language exposure back in the day. And yeah, began with graphic novels also. Began English with graphic novels. I have computer games. There are a lot of texts. There are like story told. There are like worlds imagined. So that helped me in like expanding my language. It started with English. I haven't had any opportunity to like to speak and practice. Just getting exposure after exposure. You know,
Of
in
English.
language, I believe, yeah, I believe in language exposure and practice. That's the two main things that will take you further in languages.
That's so
So,
true.
yeah, that's
So,
level one. That's how it started.
so I'm not sure if you know, but we have 11 official languages here in South Africa. I don't know
Wow.
all 11, but and that leads us to that languages. One language can be an infusion of many different cultures. If we take
Yeah,
Afrikaans, for example, in South Africa, it's got a bit of Malaysian words, it's got Indonesian words, and it's got Dutch words as well. Of the languages that you've learned, have you found any? Which one of those languages had the most cultural influences?
actually, I say like English was really amazing. I'm really fascinated with English because many people like speak English, and English was like it was a doorway to get connected with people of many like which their first language were other than English. So
Mhm.
I connected with people from Europe, Germany, and I connected with people from like India, people from some other countries. Each came with their own set of like proverbial stuff and their language experience. I'm really fascinated with proverbs. Like
Yeah.
yeah, they are amazing, and they're like the manifestation of the cultures, what the culture think, what the people of certain culture think. So I believe like yeah, language was like learning language, and the most influential one was the English at first. Then like after that, it's like I started learning Turkish. You know, our language is actually like we speak Uzbek. Uzbek is like
Mhm.
a part of Turkic language. Like it's all the same. Like Arabic of the Gulf countries, and the Arabic of Egypt, Arabic of Morocco and Algeria. It's like
Yeah.
they're actually Arabic, but you know, it's like the accent and maybe some terms are pronounced differently. So Uzbek is some sort of Turkic language. It belongs to a Turkic language family. So I started learning like Turkic when I started learning Turkish when I came to Turkey in Istanbul after Saudi Arabia. It's like it became actually the second most influential like language because it has an amazing history behind it, and unfortunately many people haven't exposed to the culture, to the background. So Turkey has the Turkish language, the Turkish culture has a deep rooted like background. It's amazing, it's fascinating.
And that goes back to it being that roadmap to culture, because when you really dig deep into language, you learn so much about yourself in terms of the language, your native tongue. And you also learn so much about other cultures of, the languages that you learn from their country or their native tongue. In terms of social environments, language can also lead to a lot of misunderstandings because we come from different cultural backgrounds, and so we can misunderstand or misinterpret the way that that language is used because it might not be your first language. Have you ever experienced that?
Maybe there were actually like minor experiences along the way, but the period of my childhood when I started developing these languages, when I started getting exposure after exposure. I think that helped me immensely in like in understanding more, in like giving myself time before, like, you know, the biggest barrier in like in connecting with people from other cultures is like it's not having enough empathy or sympathy. Yeah,
Yes.
that's the biggest barrier. You know, it's like there is also the factor of prejudice, like
Hmm.
maybe like resentments or maybe historical differences that goes way back, and that's like everyone can speak, like anyone can speak maybe more than a language. Anyone can speak more than three or maybe four language, but less people can truly speak cultures. Speaking culture is much like different than speaking a language. Actually, I started reading like you know, I was a novel guy. I really like novels. I read classics back in the day, like Leo Tolstoy. I think it's how it's pronounced. So I'm also a huge fan of Elif Shafak. You know,
Ah,
the
okay.
aura of mystique. Yeah, her
Yes,
novels have
yes.
this, yeah, aura of mystique that
In fact,
youngsters need.
if I remember correctly, you've actually read two different versions of it.
Yeah, it's
Different.
like I've read three different. Elif Shafak
Hmm.
is precisely, I've read like a certain novel of novels like in three languages, in Arabic, English, and Turkish.
Hmm.
So the books I really love, the books I really invest in, I was like, I try to read them in different languages. So that provide me with a really rewarding and amazing experience.
Is there any quotes or anything that you like? I wouldn't say that you live by, because I think there's this, life changes all the time, unless you do have one that you live by. But is there any one or any quote that resonates with you?
Yes, definitely. It's like, as I told, it's like I'm a huge fan of maybe some of the classics, like Leo Tolstoy classics. And one of the great like quotes that resonates with me, and I was like really deep and influential, is one of Tolstoy's quotes, and I quote is like, "All great literature is one of two stories: a man goes on a journey, or a stranger comes to town." So what he wants to tell is like big amazing stories. It's like it starts either with a man going to a journey, a man or a woman, or like a man or woman coming to a town. So the big stories start like that. So I believe like my story actually started picking up when I came to a town, which is Istanbul. So this country has like I'm really uh, grateful that it developed further my my character here.
So I'm going to quote you something you wrote, which I absolutely loved, and I'm going to share with you now. In 2016, you wrote, "We are the bridges that expand over cultures, connecting them with tight-knit ties. We insatiably promote our lofty compassions and love-filled goal of achieving cultural understanding." Do you remember that?
Yes, yes. I was really fascinated, and I was like, back in the day when I first came to Turkey, I wasn't like really experienced in like businesses and stuff like that. I barely started like getting known to how to approach, to how to handle businesses. So back in the day, I lacked business competence, but I had this motivation of maybe like implementing those codes, as you said, in businesses and stuff like that, connecting people, helping the economy faster, further, and stuff like that. So I believe like my recent experiences in the businesses has helped me further in like establishing my business acumen. So I believe like it is more than time to like maybe incorporate those codes, those understanding into the business practices, and coming up with great results. So I was like busy in writing, in taking notes, and in thinking, doing brainstorms regarding future ventures.
I love that, you know, how you apply yourself. And I think that, you know, from 2016 to where you are now, 2020, I'm sure that you've seen that growth and you've seen that development within yourself. I mean, just watching your Instagram page, I've seen how you've been traveling and how you've been also expanding your reach. So from those days of trying to build those bridges, how far do you feel you've come?
Actually, yeah, it's like how far do I come? It's like the roadmap, where I am in
Yeah.
the roadmap. So the roadmap, yeah, yeah, it's like it is actually, I feel really grateful. I've met so many great people. I've just gone through many experiences. At first, it was challenging. They were challenging and they were like difficult. But I'm really grateful that I went through them. There was so many exciting stops along the way. And Lifestyle Turkey, it's like the Moods Fashion Exhibition was one of the like the biggest stops. It's like it launched me to further to the end. I don't say it's the end because life is a journey. It's not the end of the roadmap, but I'm in the place. I'm in the a period of time in the roadmap, which I can say it's like wow. It's like I'm going to places. It's taking me to places. Those language and culture and stuff like that. It's taking me to places. Even like yeah, I had really like a breakout story last year. It didn't resulted in positively, but it was a great experience. FIFA, an organization as big as FIFA, they approached me last year, and they were like, "We want you as a language manager for FIFA World Cup 2022." So that was a great experience, and it was like I had a like online business interview with them. It was like really next level. I wasn't prepared for that.
Wow,
It was
Mubarak to
really next
you.
level.
That that
Yeah.
is a wonderful, you know, it just shows that, you know, you follow your path, you go through your journey, and look where
Mhm.
it's you never know where else it's going to lead you.
And I actually started stepping out from, it's not leaving, I'm started to stepping out from the shadow of maybe
Mhm.
events like Lifestyle Turkey and stuff like that, to work on ventures, to work on stuff of my own. So uh, in this slide I started approaching some other organizations, some other companies, and I was like giving them ideas and stuff like that. So hopefully I have maybe two ventures in my mind, and hopefully we'll launch it soon. Okay.
Well, that's a beautiful note to end on because we will watch this space to see what next comes up in your roadmap.
So yes, it's amazing, and I believe like languages gives you access to to many cultures, many people. You befriend them, you make an amazing rewarding experiences, and also language. I realize that it gives you access to markets. It gives you access to it's important in businesses. Like many companies invest in market access. You want to
Yeah.
access markets, but they have the tool, they have they have deep pockets, and they have all things, they have the experience, but they may lack the uh, the importance of not just speaking language but also speaking culture, in terms
Mm.
of getting sustainable and lasting business relationships. So
Yeah.
that's what I'm aiming for, and hopefully a lot of exciting steps are waiting for me.
Thank you so much, Muhammad, for your time and ending on such a beautiful note as well. It's a great message to send to all of the people watching, and hopefully they'll take an interest in the many opportunities or access that language can lead them to.
From taking risks that lead to the best decisions you ever made, mapping out the road to culture with language, expressing yourself through art, or combining talent and skill in order to reach your desired outcome, I speak to 5 global entrepreneurs who have manifested their compass in life for an everyday enriching experience in fulfilling their destiny. Join me, Roshan Isaacs, every Wednesday to find out what's on my radar.